Oh, I've been eagerly waiting this one. I've been very much eager trying to get to this quest for a few reasons. One, because to me, this quest, from what I've heard, is awesome. The cinematic that follows is awesome, and we have to discuss it. And it's gonna hopefully allow me to get access to a certain quest with one of my other characters. So, anyway. Old Allies. Yes, the title of that quest is hinting at something. Sylvanas Windrunner was once my ranger general. Now she is my war chief. Through peacetime and war, I followed her orders. Until now. Remember, he and Sylvanas have quite a long history, going back to the time before Death Knight Arthas marched through Quel'Thalas. Bane is a noble soul. His execution would drive a blade into the very heart of the Horde. We must save him. It is the only way to preserve who we are, what we stand for. I love this. I love that Lor'themar is finally stepping up here and is really just kind of embracing that. Because there's been a period of time where the Blood Elves didn't want to be a part of the Horde anymore. They wanted to actually go back to the Alliance. You know? Remember what it was like for them? Not only what Sylvanas was forcing them to do in Wrath, but then also what Garrosh was doing to them. And they were pretty much like, why are we part of the Horde with all this crap we're going through and having thrown at us? Here, Lor'themar is showing that he's like really embracing being a part of the Horde and what it actually means. Like, he actually was paying attention when Thrall and Vol'jin were talking to the Pandarans about what Horde means. That the Horde means family. I have reached out to allies who will help you, but in siding with them, you will put your own life in peril. If you feel as I do, then meet them in the Cleft of Shadows. Good luck.
Never again. Bane Bloodhoof represents all that is best in the Horde. We cannot stand by and let his light be snuffed out. But know this, when the War Chief learns of our defiance, her wrath will be swift and terrible. In the end, we all must choose our path, and that choice will have consequences.
Is it just me, or does that sound like a different voice actor? Because that does not really sound like Gideon Emery. That sounds kind of like a different voice actor. I really hope they didn't change his voice actor. Gideon Emery is awesome. I'm a big fan of his. I really hope that's not the case. Okay, so I guess I just have to just head on over to Orgrimmar. Alright.
Something has spooked one of the Brutusos, sending it into a panic.
Oh, hey! Someone did the, Terragosa questline. Congrats! I really hope I get to finish that questline with my mage. I just have to figure out that step that I'm a little stuck on in the Firelands, where it's like, hey, get to this secret area. But in order to do that, you have to do certain things with certain bosses. I'm like, oh my gosh, really? Rokan? Sourfang? Thrall? So you're probably wondering, what is the deal with Sourfang and Thrall being here? Well, in order to explain this, I don't think they have put it here in the game. So you know what I'm going to have to do? I am going to actually make a quick edit here. I'm going to head on over to YouTube. I know you guys are on YouTube right now, but I'm gonna, because it's up, I don't think it's in the game. I'm going to log out, head over to YouTube, pull up the cinematic that shows how it led to this moment, and then we'll come right back. So stay tuned. I'll be right back.
So, this is home now.
Home. Family.
And where are they?
Not far.
This world. Well, it looks good. But it's wrong. Broken. Falling apart. Just like the Horde. Do you know? Do you know what she's done while you've been hiding?
I left that life behind. I'm no one's savior. I will not lead the Horde.
I didn't ask. But I hoped you would at least fight for it.
You were followed!
I followed them. You and I, we don't get to hide.
So yeah, that's first off, that was an awesome cinematic. There are times I just love getting reminded why I am an orc main. So that explains where Varrock went after we helped him and Zakan in the Swamp of Sorrows, where he went. And it also explains where Thrall has been this whole time, ever since he gave me the Doomhammer and left. By the way, Thrall, I just want you to see, I've taken good care of it. I've used it very well, and I always will. What? This is always going to be one of my transmogs. I'm always going to have a form of the Doomhammer on me. He has a new weapon now, and I think we can safely say he is not really a shaman anymore. He's kind of back to being just a warrior type of character, which I am... I have mixed feelings about, but I can't help it. It's just great for me to see Thrall back again. I'm so happy he's back. Thrall has always been one of my he's always been one of my top 3 favorite characters in Warcraft, alongside Illidan and the Lich King. You know, I've been a fan of Thrall ever since I first played Warcraft 3. So, I mean, he is the reason my main is an orc shaman. My character wanted to follow his ways, you know, he was an inspiration to him. So, seeing him back here is just, oh, I was so happy when I found out he was coming back, when I saw that cinematic. So, yeah, we're teaming up with Varrock, who is, let's keep in mind, Varrock is risking a lot coming here. He knows he is in very hostile territory right now, which is saying something that Orgrimmar is now hostile territory for Varrock Sourfang. Also, when you think about it, considering what that cinematic implied about the undead rogues going there, Varrock followed them, which meant they went there because they were sent by Sylvanas to assassinate Thrall. Yeah. I hope I really don't have to expound upon that point. Anyways.
Loktar.
And by the way, it's so great to hear Chris Metzen back. I'm so glad he's back. I was so sad when he announced he was retiring, but I was overjoyed when he said, "Oh, don't worry, I'm retired from the creative part, but I'll still come back to do the voices of characters. I'll still come back and voice Thrall." And I was so happy. I cannot imagine anyone else doing the voice of Thrall. This is his character. I mean, yes, Varian was also his character, but he's been the voice of Thrall since Warcraft 3. You cannot do Thrall without Chris Metzen doing the voice, and I'm so glad that he embraces that he loves being Thrall.
Bane will be executed within hours. We must act now.
Obviously, I can't replicate his voice. Chris Metzen has an awesome voice, along with Michael McConaughey.
Many will see this as treason, but if we fail to act, all that the Horde stands for will be lost. Are you with us?
I am with you, both of you.
Loktar!
Azeroth. Thromkar.
Your aid is welcome. Bane has little time left. Come, it is time to save a friend.
Complete the stay of execution scenario.
Well met.
I am glad that a champion of the Horde stands with us
Let
today.
honor guide your path.
So, welcome back to the depths of Orgrimmar. We haven't been down here since the Siege of Orgrimmar raid. Remember when we had to go through these tunnels to get to Garrosh so we could finally finish him off?
I have not walked these halls since we faced Garrosh.
Vol'jin reopened these halls to provide shelter when the Legion invaded. Now, Sylvanas uses them to train her elite soldiers and build her Azerite weapons.
Halt! This area is off limits!
Stay your hand! We're only here to...
That's Sarfang! Kill the traitors!
Sourfang showing off his blade storm there. Woo!
Thromcar.
With Sourfang branded a traitor by Sylvanas, the guards will attack us on sight. Rolkan provided a totem that can conceal us for a time. But even so, wary guards may spot us. Go carefully. I don't want to leave a trail of bodies in our wake. These loyalists are still part of the Horde. Understood, I'll stick close.
Together. Stay close. We'll sneak past the guards together.
A shaman being a rogue. Oh, this... I don't know about this.
Wait here. Move, quickly!
Uh-oh. An illusion! What are you hiding?
Move, quickly! Go!
No more work. No more work.
I love this. Me, Varrock, and Thrall sneaking in to save Bane from Sylvanas. I love this. By the way, yes, you can do this if you're sided with Sylvanas. They'll actually have it where you are doing this undercover for Sylvanas and Thanos.
Hold here.
I just realized you guys probably couldn't hear me
Go!
because that was so loud. I was saying you can do this undercover as an agent of Sylvanas if you actually choose to be loyal to her, though I still don't understand why some players actually want to remain loyal to her. Devise a plan with Thrall.
We've gotten this far, but the power of Rolkan's totem is fading. Sourfang and I need another way to avoid being noticed. Oh, excuse me. Even these loyalists know that you are a champion of the Horde. Perhaps you could provide a distraction.
Let
I can keep
honor
them busy.
guide your path.
Challenge elite Horde warriors to provide a distraction. Okay. Duel Lanara.
What do you seek?
Stop messing about like a novice. You are a reasonably capable
My
shaman. Do you
arrows
seek
strike true.
Do you seek to test your skills before returning to the war? Yes, I could. Would you care to
I
duel?
watch. I listen. I serve the Banshee Queen.
Well fought. I yield to your skills. Well fought. I would like to inspect the troops that
I
you can train.
watch. I listen.
Well, it's Liani Shadestalker. The Dark Warden unleashes her rage upon the target dummy before her. Perhaps it would be wise to let her be. Back away slowly.
My arrows strike true.
Seen enough?
I serve
Well done.
the
My
Banshee
arrows
Queen.
strike true.
Well done.
What do you seek? For the
Well
Dark
done.
Lady.
Who's that?
Thrall.
Shaw? Jaina?
Lions? Here?
Our king sent us to rescue his friend.
We too have come to save Bane.
His odds will improve if we work together.
Agreed.
Jaina
Time
and
is
Thrall
short.
working together
Let's
again.
move.
How about this? Jaina and Shaw apparently came here on Anduin's orders to save Bane. Now, obviously we would see this on the Alliance side. Hopefully I hope to show you that side of the story someday when I get to my Alliance character. But remember, Bane bringing her brother to Jaina meant a lot to her, to the point where she, of course, would have told Anduin about it, and they both would have really changed their view on Bane compared to their view on the Horde after what happened with Teldrassil.
The time for dreaming is over.
The longer that we are here, the greater the risk. We must
The
keep
Alliance
going.
will endure.
Well met.
It seems that our lot has been thrown in with the Alliance. I know what it is to fight against them, to feel the loss and the rage of war in your heart. But I ask you to put that aside, at least until our friend Bane is safe.
I hate that it assumes that my character,
I hate the Alliance, death to the Alliance, all that.
I hate that. I hate that it assumes that that's how my character would feel about this. So I can either say, I will do this for Bane and for the Horde. I don't trust the Alliance, but I don't see another alternative right now. It's time to end this. Here we go. It's time to end this war and work together.
Your guard, champion.
Strong.
Nice job,
I did
Shaw.
not expect the Alliance to be here.
Not the first time we've had to move against a corrupt war chief.
For a sovereign king, slain in his own home.
A home that still stands. Can you say the same for Teldrassil?
Enough! We aren't here to fight each other.
Stay focused. Bane's life is all that matters right now.
So I don't know if you guys caught that, but obviously Shaw brought up Teldrassil, but Varrock brought up what happened to Rastakhan. Remember, Rastakhan was killed because the Alliance invaded Dazar'alor and just invaded the throne and just killed Rastakhan. So that's what Varrock was talking about. Boy, I'll bet there are some warrior mains right now that are just loving what they're seeing from Varrock, because he is just looking like a beast of a warrior. I just love seeing Thrall and Jaina working together again. It's just like old times.
Looks like Bane is being held just ahead.
It seems we must get past her first.
I wondered if anyone would come to save the traitor's life. I'm disappointed to see you here, Southang, Thrall, but I am not surprised. Tonight my wolves will feast on the flesh of traitors and Alliance scum! Mukata, no, you monsters! That dog had more honor than you do, Southang! And she just keeps on calling more wolves. Unfortunately, many have that view. Look at what they've done to Bane. They have him strung up and chained up like he's, like, I don't know, like the most heinous of prisoners, as if he's some kind of mass murderer.
Thrall. Jaina.
These chains are warded against magic. I'll need time to pick the lock.
This feels wrong. Sylvanas must have known we were coming.
Indeed she did, traitor. You and Lady Proudmoore.
I have no quarrel with you.
Have you forgotten the Purge of Dalaran, murderer? Today, the
Ooh.
Sunreavers will be avenged.
And your vendetta is with me. And me alone.
No. You will watch your friends die. Just as I did.
Yeah.
Kill them all.
You just knew that was going to come back
I can get
to
us
haunt
out,
Jaina
but
at some
not while
point.
these crystals are blocking my teleportation spells.
Then we must destroy them. Go, champion.
Guards!
I don't want to do this, Thandel. Don't make me do this.
Guards! Damn! Leone! Get in here and eliminate them!
Shadestalker. Oh boy. Can I just say, I love that right now I'm fighting her alongside Thrall, Sourfang, and Jaina. This is awesome. This is so cool. Uh-oh. This is just like when we faced Cordana.
I'll disrupt the shields protecting those mages. You destroy the focus crystals. Over here. I'll bring down the shield
Ow.
from this one next. I can feel their spell weakening. We need to take down all 4 crystals.
Woo! Oh, Hathorel. I understand your anger about what happened in Dalaran. But this is not the way.
None of you will escape these halls!
Ow. Thank you, Jaina, for providing us with a ice block.
None of you will escape these halls!
I imagine that would do a ton of damage if I did an ice block there.
I've got him free!
Get the portal out.
Stay close. I'll get us out.
Alright, cinematic time.
Thank you. Bane would have died without your aid.
I couldn't let that happen.
Nor could I. I refuse to fail him. Like I failed his father. I wish I could change it all. Cairn. Garrosh. Theramore. Sometimes, it feels like I did everything wrong.
We all have blood on our hands.
And now, Sylvanas will come. Thunder Bluff will burn. Just like Teldrassil.
Once before, you and I stood side by side on the slopes of Mount Hyjal. That world tree did not fall, because the Horde and the Alliance worked together.
Horde. Alliance. We've come to this crossroad again and again, Jaina. It always falls apart. What's different this time?
We are.
Yes!
I should go. Anduin will want to know that Bane is safe.
Tell your king he is not alone.
Oh, man. Okay. Before we turn this into Lorthamar, we got to discuss what just happened. First off, I love that Varrock immediately knew that Thrall had to be the one to talk to Jaina. And he's gonna be like, go on. Go talk to her. You two have a very long overdue talk. That needs to happen now. And I mean, it did feel like Thrall was finally acknowledging and apologizing for things that many of us have felt was his fault. When he says that he feels like a lot of that was his fault, it very much was. I'm not going to deny that. I love Thrall, but I acknowledge fully that a lot of those things that happened, especially what happened with Garrosh, was definitely his fault. Romanticizing Grom to the point where he thought Garrosh could, could be a great leader when he just wasn't at all. But I also like that Jaina acknowledged what happened with Dalaran, with the purging of Dalaran, by saying we all have blood on our hands, including acknowledging herself as well. The implication that Thunderbluff is going to burn like Teldrassil. Gosh, I cannot tell you how horrible that would be. To not only to have seen Teldrassil burn and then to see Thunderbluff, she wouldn't just burn down the buildings. Sylvanas would do the same thing she did with Teldrassil. She would want to burn the civilians that live in Thunderbluff, because let's acknowledge how many civilians just live innocently in Mulgore. It's hard for me to even picture Sylvanas standing there watching Mulgore burn to ash with the people trapped in Thunderbluff. Now, I've heard rumors and speculation that could actually be the final raid of this expansion, where we go in together as the Horde and the Alliance to save Thunderbluff, with Sylvanas and Nathanos being the final boss of the raid and the expansion. I don't know how true that is. It wouldn't surprise me at this point if that is what ends up happening. A lot of people joked and talked about Siege of Orgrimmar 2.0, where we go into Thunderbluff with Sylvanas being the final boss, with it feeling a lot like what happened with Garrosh. And at this point, it's hard to not acknowledge or admit that could happen. I don't know how that's going to go. However, I will also want to say that what we are going to end up doing from this point forward in Nazjatar, especially at the end of the third part of the quest line, where we then have to go into the Eternal Palace raid, well, that's going to cause some interesting possibilities in regards to what happens if that possible Thunderbluff raid does actually happen. So, but I love that Jaina called back to what happened in Warcraft 3, where she, along with Thrall and the Night Elves, bought Malfurion enough time to have Mount Hyjal defeat Archimonde. That they stood together in order to do that, and it was why Medivh brought them all together in the first place, because they had to be together and join forces to have a chance, any chance at all, in order to defeat the Burning Legion and defeat Archimonde. And I'm glad that Jaina... Let's keep in mind, for a long time, Jaina has been very... the purging of Dalaran is a good example of this, of what happened after what happened with Theramore. And I'm glad that Thrall included that, because that has been a very driving force for her hatred for the Horde. She has been very hateful towards the Horde ever since then, including what happened in Warlords. I mean, she's been that way since Pandaria. She was that way in Warlords. She was that way at the beginning of Legion, where she was very upset at Anduin for wanting to work together with the Horde after what happened with the Broken Shore to defeat the Burning Legion. She's like, nope, I'm not dealing with that. I'm out. And she leaves, and we don't see her again for the rest of the expansion until BFA, when she goes back to Theramore to get the ship and show up at Lordaeron. Now, obviously, I haven't done or shown you guys the Alliance side of the story yet. And in Kul Tiras, she is mainly dealing with Kul Tiras and coming to grips with what happened in Warcraft 3 with her father, and trying to fix the relations with her mother. But she throughout is still very resentful towards the Horde because of what happened. I mean, this is also shown when we see the Battle of Zarlor raid. It's shown when we take her brother back to her, where she immediately assumes that we are there to pull some trickery and make another bomb by asking if her brother is the bomb this time. And it wasn't until Bane finally started getting through to her that her hatred of the Horde started to really melt away. To that point where then she's hearing Thrall basically apologize for what happened in Theramore, where it finally gets through to her. And she actually suggests to Thrall that they work together again. And Thrall is the one who is like, Horde Alliance, we are always doing this thing where we'll team up and then it falls apart again. What would be different this time? Like, why should we not expect any kind of different outcome this time? And it's Jaina instead, and it's because usually it's been the other way around in the past. This time it's Jaina who says, we are different. The difference this time is that we have grown and changed to the point where we can be able to make sure that from now on, this is not the case with the Alliance and the Horde. That we actually can come together and stop being at each other's throats and hating each other. Now, I expect this... Jaina is not going to have an easy time convincing the other members of the Alliance to do this. She's going to have an extremely hard time with two specific characters. I can tell you right off the bat, off the top of my head, that I know she won't be able to easily get through. Greymane and Tyrande. Those two are not going to want to hear a single word about this from Jaina. Because they want the Horde to perish. Which Jaina at one point wanted to as well, after what happened with Garrosh and Theramore. But right now, it's been Greymane and Tyrande as the driving force to try and just exterminate the Horde for what happened. Not just with Teldrassil, but Greymane's been on this for a long time, ever since what happened with his son back in Gilneas. So... I'm glad that Jaina is finally on board here to try and finally bring them together and stop this ridiculous war and stopping at each other's throats. Because we are having to deal with all these incredibly dangerous threats. We just got done dealing with the Burning Legion. And we would not have won had we not actually put aside our differences and united together. And this has been the case for the past 3 expansions. The theme of putting aside our differences and uniting as one to take down a common greater foe. Otherwise, we would have lost. And I'm glad that they are hinting that this could finally come to an end. That we could finally be done with all this, have the Horde and the Alliance hate each other crap. I'm sorry, but I'm so tired of it at this point. At this point, these characters have no, should not be encouraging this anymore. It's time to stop. Now, we can't just simply brush aside some of the horrible things that have happened, obviously. I imagine the whole Teldrassil, because it was an atrocity, we can't just brush that aside. But we have got to stop this whole Alliance versus Horde nonsense. I'm sorry, but I'm just one of those that feels that we have to put this to an end. So I'm glad that they're hinting that this could be a possible direction going forward, and I am all for it. So anyway, I just wanted to get that off my chest.
The beauty of Eversong endures.
Thank the Sunwell you were able to save Bane's life. Thank you. And Jaina Proudmoore came to his aid as well. Interesting.
Proudmoore and Shaw risked their lives to rescue Bane. Unexpected.
Is it? Not long ago, Alliance and Horde fought together to liberate Suramar from the Legion.
Cooperation between our sides has been the exception, not the rule. More often, we're at each other's throats.
That animosity only benefits Ajara. Her power is considerable. Divided, we are no match for her, or the master she serves.
Sylvanas has the loyalty of the people. So long as she is war chief, this war will rage within their hearts. We cannot stop it.
Perhaps we do not need to. It might be enough to direct our attacks against Ajara rather than the Alliance.
That plan would infuriate Blightcaller, which makes me like it all the more. It stops when you turn from one another and walk away.
What was that?
A lesson that Jaina Proudmoore and I needed to learn. Your counsel is wise, Thalysra. Our focus must be on ending Ajara's reign. But if the Alliance undermines our efforts, the flames of war will rise again.
The war campaign to be continued. More content will be added in the future. So, that is as far as we are in the war campaign as of patch 8.2. I don't know if they're going to add more in patch 8.2.5. I've heard a couple of interesting little content updates, but I haven't heard about the next step in the war campaign. So, now it's pretty much, hey, now go work on other stuff in Najatar, as well as Mechagon, and of course I have to do that stuff in order to be able to also unlock flying in Pathfinder Part 2. So, I think what's going to happen is I'm going to try and see what the official story quests, the main story quests in Najatar are, and try and show that to you guys up to the point we do the Eternal Palace raid, because obviously I want to do that. Now, it is important to note that at this time that I'm recording this, only Wings 1 and 2 are available. The third wing, which is, of course, the Queen Azshara fight, is not available yet for me to access. So, I don't know how exactly I'm going to be able, how I'm going to work this or, plan this out. We'll see how it goes. In the meantime, I'm going to cut it off here. And I'm going to go check whether or not the quest to unlock my heritage armor from my Tauren is now available, because I believe that was the next step I had to do. I really hope that it's available. Stay tuned.